Now on BBC News, the biggest African and international news stories. Focus on Africa.
Live from Nairobi, this is Focus on Africa on BBC News. On the program today, panic in Guinea as Guinea-Bissau sustained fire breaks out near the presidential palace amid reports that incumbent President Umaru Sissoco Embalo has been arrested.
The High Military Command for the Restoration of the National Security and Public Order has decided to immediately depose the President of the Republic.
Malian refugees living in Mauritania tell harrowing tales of torture and executions in the hands of Wagner Group soldiers in the country.
Who is going to look after my children? Who is going to look after me? When I hear the name Wagner, I feel traumatized.
Also in the program, is the math adding up? Conflicting reports in Nigeria as Governor of Niger State disputes abduction figures following a school attack.
The school said to me in writing, missing, not abducted. Number of missing students. So they are not certain whether these entire students are with the bandits.
And we tell you all about DR Congo's popular riverboats that kill hundreds of people every year. This is Focus on Africa, live from Nairobi. Many thanks for joining us. I'm Rhoda Odhiambo. Now, in our fast story today, a coup d'etat has taken place in Guinea-Bissau. A group calling itself the High Military Command for the Restoration of National Security and Public Order announced today that they were taking, and I quote, total control of the country while suspending its electoral process. This comes 3 days after the West African nation's legislative and presidential elections were held. And to get a detailed report on the atrocities committed by Russian mercenaries in Mali, you can find the story on the BBC website or just search BBC's FocusOnAfrica.com. You're watching Focus on Africa on BBC News, and here's what's still to come on the program. DR Congo's riverboats, lifelines for many, yet deadly for hundreds each year. We'll tell you why after the break. Welcome back to Focus on Africa. Let's head to Nigeria now, where it remains unclear how many students were abducted from a Catholic school in Niger State last week. In an exclusive interview, Governor Umar Bago told the BBC that only 14 parents have so far reported their children missing, although that number could rise as some families live far away.
Elaine Chong, BBC News.
Now, it's all right. It's not often that you see me outside the studio, but before we wrap up today's program, I'd like to make a little announcement. Now, over the last 2 years, the Focus on Africa TV news program has been produced by teams both in Nairobi and London, but as part of the BBC's vision of programming, bringing programs closer to its audiences like you, this particular program was produced by producers here in Nairobi, supported by our colleagues in Lagos, Nigeria. And that is what will happen moving forward. Now here, I'm in the Nairobi Gallery, and moving forward, the Focus on Africa TV news program will be handled editorially by the team on my right, that's Wahiga Mora, and the technical team on my left. And now we'd like to sincerely thank the team in London who have been producing this show for the last 13 years, and now they are signing off. Now, the Focus on Africa TV news program is one of the BBC's international African shows coming from the continent and offering what will only get better with more nuanced coverage, that stories that matter to you. Well, that's all the time we had for you on today's program. Feel free to get in touch with me and some of the team on social media. I'm on X at Odhiambo Rhoda, and don't forget to tag at BBC Africa. You can also listen to the biggest stories on the African continent. Just search Focus on Africa from wherever you get your podcast from. And regards to the story about the coup d'etat in Guinea-Bissau Guinea-Bissau. You can read up on that story on the BBC website. Just search bbc.com/Africa. That's it from me and the rest of the team here in Nairobi. Many thanks for joining us. Tomorrow.
Hello there. There are warnings out in force for the winter storm effect